Hey there YouTube, AJ here, and today we're back on the strengthening of my cockpit section of my 1927 Ford Touring hot rod. Previously, when I was making this piece to go around the top of the cockpit to strengthen that part, I found my Harbor Freight sheet metal brake wasn't great at the task. The 18 gauge steel was a little heavy for it, and the quality construction of the sheet metal brake itself left something to be desired. And because of the way I planned to brace the rest of this, I knew I was going to have to do some work to my brake in order to make it cut the mustard. So I made another video where I made some modifications, strengthened it, and just made it a lot better to work with, and now it works really good. Watch that video if you want to. It's if you don't have a sheet metal brake, you may not, I don't know, but anyway. But back to the video for today. We're going to be taking that brake and making the pieces I need to strengthen the rest of the back of my cockpit, and getting that all done. So let's jump right into making the first brace right here for the center. Okay, here goes our first test bend. We're going to try to bend up some hat channel that I'm going to need for my hot rod to make the bracing for my cab. Lock her down, and here comes our first bend. So let's flip her over to the other side. Lock her down. Okay. Locked in place. Bend.
Now over that down a little bit, but we'll be able to fix it.
Alright.
Okay.
There we go. Look at that. Okay, overbent this one a little bit. I'll be able to straighten that back out. That's not a problem. But overall, I got this nice, sturdy, strong brace that's lightweight, made out of hat channel. Now, once I've cut this to length and get it formed in there, I'm also going to pop some holes and dimple die it, so it'll be even lighter and stronger. Okay, so we bent up our hat channel on our new improved Harbor Freight brake. It's good and sturdy, and we need to start looking at fitting it in here. First thing I need to do is fit the center. I'm going to guess this hole is center, but I'm not positive. Okay, so center is pretty much just the right side of the hole there. The hole's not perfectly round, who knows. Anyway, probably want to find center of our piece here. Say it should be just about 2 inches. Alright, now we're just going to eyeball everything for now and rough it in. So it's going to be about right there. First thing we want to do is get this, we want to try to get it back against the back all the way down. And we're not up underneath the edge here, so we're going to need to bring it out flat. Going to have to cut off the top of the edge of this in order to make it fit flush here. And right now I'm just kind of eyeballing it. Might have to tweak it a little bit, but I think I want to be in that position there. Looks pretty even.
Yeah.
Alright, so we're going to leave this full height at the edges here, cut this flange at an angle here and straight across here, and hopefully that'll make the top part fit in there. And then we'll worry about where we need to cut it down at the bottom. Okay, I cut that top edge. Let's see how it fits now. Yeah, I think that's going to fit in there really good once I cut the bottom off. Let's get our marker. Where's our... Okay. So first thing we're going to do is just mark our edge here. It's going to have to be cut higher in order to get back here. Okay, so basically like that. But we don't want to just cut this straight across. Well, I guess we could. Let me think about this. I was thinking I wanted to cut like a curve in the end of this so it'll match the curve here. Let me see what I got. Let's roll of tape. That's not bad actually. That roll of tape fits pretty good. So I think what we'll do, okay, so we'll pretend that that roll of tape's gonna start there. Okay, now cut across. Do the same thing on this side. So now we're going to cut across here, cut this part, cut it in here, then cut this side piece here at a curve, and hopefully that'll sit flush in here. I'll be right back. Alright, so that was after 2 more passes to get this to the right lengths and roundness here. As you can tell, it's still not flush here because the back of the car has a curve to it. So I need to see if I can figure out a way to curve this, and I can't use my shrinker stretcher because I got this flange on here. How can we do that? Hopefully I can just get it to bend. We'll try that, see what happens. And then I got a center line marked on here, and then I've got hole cross halfway, and then halfway between that plan to put some holes in there with dimple dies. Let's see if we can bend this. Alright, we're going to use some really high-tech curving metal methodology here. I may have made this stronger than I want it to be. That has absolutely no curve in it as of yet. Nope, that is not going to do it. What now? What now? What now? Alright, might have to think about this one for a little bit. Okay, I admit I had to struggle to bend the hat channel already pre-made. I don't know if that was the best way to go about it. I ended up not filming it while I figured out how to get the piece bent to the proper profile to fit in here. I ended up turning off the camera and taking my time to figure out how to get the piece bent to the proper profile, which I have now. We are, whoops, upside down. So it fits pretty good here. This side fits really well. It has a few places where it's not quite right against it, but for the most part it is. And I think once I get it in place, I can hammer the rest of it in place. I'll tack it in and then hammer the rest into place. I think I'm good now there. How did I do that? I ended up using a variety of techniques trying to figure it out. I will show you what I did on the next pieces I need, because I'm going to need to make pieces. I'm going to make a piece to go in here and on the other side, the opposite direction. Let's go. I'm going to go ahead and at least get this tacked into place so it'll hold itself. And then I will show you how I got the curve in it. Hopefully I can do it again the same way, and a lot quicker this time. But yeah, I'll show you that after I get this tacked in. Okay, so we got this piece, put a couple spot welds in here to hold it in place. It's in there good and solid now. Wish I had longer tongs where I could spot weld it all the way down, but I don't, so what I'll end up doing is just stitch welding this in place once I'm ready to weld everything. Yeah, once I get these other corner pieces cut out and made in place, then I'll just weld everything all at once. So speaking of those corner pieces, I will go ahead and show you how I made this and bent it. I mean, I know it's not a perfect bend, and it's got shows some hammer marks and stuff, but I'm not really worried about it because eventually this is going to get an interior panel in here, so it's never going to be seen once construction's done. Anyway, let's get to making these other hat channel braces, and I'll take you through that process on one of them, and after that we'll go from there, I guess. Okay, so I went ahead and cut up some blanks. I'm going to bend these blanks into the hat channel. First thing we're going to do is bend up our outside edges. And I've already marked my lines on here where I want those to be. So all I got to do is line them up and clamp it down. Once you're clamped down, bend it up straight. You want to get basically a 90-degree bend on it. And do the other side, same way. Now, I need to really quick remove my extender leaf here in order to make my next bend, because it needs to go this way, and that's going to be hitting that. If your flange is short enough, I've got then a 1/2 inch adjustment where I could just loosen it up and drop it down, and then I wouldn't have to take it completely off, but I'm going to take it completely off. Now we want to bend the flanges up the other way to make our hat channel. To do this, because I want these to be a little less deep than the other one, I'm just going to push the flange that I made all the way back against the bending leaf and clamp it there. And that should make it a little shorter. And then that one 90. Turn it around. Do the same thing. And now we got our hat channel. A little pinched in, I overbent a couple places, but you know, that's easy to straighten out. We can get that back out to normal. The hard part's putting the curve in it this way. Okay, now that we have our two pieces of hat channel bent up, one for this side, one for that side. Next thing we need to do is rough cut them into where we're going to need them here. And I'm going to follow the edge of this brace here. I'm going to put them just inside here at an angle, like so. And as you can see, this is going to have to be cut at an angle here, and this is going to be cut at an angle here. Oh no, this way, here, in order for it to fit in correctly. Where's my Sharpie? Hang on, need a Sharpie. And I don't use Sharpies. I buy the 99-cent pack at Harbor Freight. These things seem to work better than Sharpie on metal, but it's my opinion. Anywho, so we're gonna bring it up like that. We're gonna want this corner in there. And what I'm gonna do is just rough cut it and then go back and forth a few times, trying to get it kind of right where I want it. We're just going to kind of rough it in, cut it, check it, reshape it, and that process is going to repeat several times. And I think I'm going to be close enough there. We can also kind of go ahead and mark in our lower one as well. This one's a little harder since it's come on now. You know what? I'm gonna go cut this top piece first. That way I can tuck it up underneath here, and then I can mark the bottom one better. I think that's the smart thing to do. You wait right here. I'll be back with cutting this line. You don't need to see me do that. All right, so we got our first rough cut in for the top. Let's see how bad we did. Not great, but not horrible. Okay, recut. Try again. Okay, I think I did 3 back and forths there without you, but we're pretty close there now. Obviously, it's got to curve in, bend in to fit, but I want to go ahead and cut the bottom so I can start getting this part in as well. So it's a good thing I didn't cut it, because I ended up having to, well, it would have been too short if I'd cut it in my first place. So maybe not too short, but it might have been an issue. Anyway, now that we're in, we're going to go ahead and cut it there. This is the hard part. Okay, so GoPro overheated, turn it off. So you missed the first cut here. This is pretty close already. So I think once we start bending it to go in, I'm gonna have to cut a little more off of it, I think. But we are really close now. Got this one really close on the first try. So, 2 things we need to do. We need to punch our holes in it, which, do I want 4? I'll probably only put 3 in this one because it's not as long, and it would be right up close to the end. So I'll probably only put 3 in this one. Maybe spread them out just a little further. Nope. I had these labeled passenger and driver side with a P and a D, but then when I drilled my hole, I drilled out my label. So anyway, got the holes punched in, dimple dyed. We're all rough cut. Now we're ready to final trim this thing and start bending it. Now, because of the bend, our overall length will get shorter. I'm going to start bending it first, And then once I get close, I'll final trim these to fit in better before I get the final bend in to snug them up in there. But yeah, not looking too bad so far. Let's start bending them. Okay, I'm going to start this one off the same way I did the other one, just trying to use my body weight to get a curve in it. This one's shorter than the first one, so this is going to be even more resistant to curving. But I just want to do this to get a little bit of curve started in the piece for the next step. I know I'm not going to be able to get the whole curve like this, but it should get the start of a curve going through the whole thing. And I don't know how well you can see it, but there is a curve in it now. You put it on the ground, it has a rock to it. Now the other part about this is because this is at an angle, each side is going to be curved at a different rate. So you can see the longer side's already curved more than the shorter one. So I need to try to get a little more on the short side. And we get a little bit of curve to it now. So now we're going to take it to the next step. Okay, so the next thing I did was I strapped it up to my Jeep tire like this. But before, I had it on top here and I couldn't get any room to swing the hammer. So it didn't really work too well. So I'm going to go ahead and try that again, but with it strapped to the front where I can get some force on the hammer and see if we can't get this to take more shape to the tire. It's loosening up. Let's just tighten our straps again. So the idea of the straps are just to keep tension on it the way I want it to go, and that way when I hit it with the dead blow hammer, it starts to bend, and we'll just keep tightening it back up. Can't really tell if it's doing anything or not. I'm sure it's doing a little something. So this might not work at all. It might just be that the tire has too much give to it. Maybe I should get a steel hammer. Try some body hammers. See if that makes it go a little more. That may be about as far as I'm going to get with this. So I'm going to take it off here, try to fit it, see how it is. And if it's not far enough yet, got one more thing to use. I don't know, it might be enough because it's got quite a bit of curve in it now. Let's go fit it and see. Screw up into there. Need to hammer this part back out flat, which is good. This side's fitting pretty good down to about here. Not bad at all. This side, not so much. But if we push it in, it's also not that far off. So, looks like we need to cut a little bit off the nose here. It's just a little too long, it's hitting. So I'm gonna go ahead and trim this down a little bit and we'll try it again. That's not too bad. Might need a little bit more off this corner. I'm gonna clamp it into place here and see if I can't hammer it a little closer. the inner side's really good. I need something to wedge in here. One moment, please. I also like using this hammer because it allows me to get into the bend and really shape metal. This was, I don't know where I got this, but I think I bought just this head on eBay and then put my own handle in it. But yeah, this is really good for working into a bend. Okay, let's see if we can't. I need. What do I need? I need ear protection. Okay, when I've got this pressed in like that, this side's really good. This side's close enough, I think. What I'm gonna do is go ahead, prep this, and get it where I can tack in the top, and then we'll start welding all these in. I don't know if you noticed, but I already got this one to the point where I need to get this one. What I want to do is paint the back side of this so it's got some protection in there, and once that dries we'll spot weld it in and start welding it all together. Got the back side painted. I just got a light layer of rust reformer on this edge, heavier paint in the middle. That's so I can get my spot welder to spot weld through. I gotta clean off the back here so we can make contact, and then we'll spot weld this one in. Okay, so I've only got these spot welded in place down to, I don't know, 6 inches or so. But already, yeah, this is all 4 doors open and that cab is not really moving at all. And before, I mean, you could just go like this and the whole thing would twist and, you know, bend around. So I think this is going to be really good and strong. Plus, I'm going to be putting panels in on the sides here eventually. Once I do the body work and get this repaired and heat down below here, and get the doors all lined, then I will be putting in a panel in here. So that'll help completely make this sturdy. I'm debating, originally I was planning on connecting the bottoms, the corner and the bottoms, but I don't know if I need to do that now because it's pretty strong. I think once I weld it to the tub down here, I don't think I'll need to. So I guess I'll leave that. So I guess our next step is to start stitching these in around the top, the bottom, and the rest of the way down. Okay, Well, as you heard, I decided to go ahead and make braces for in here, which I've got them all roughed out now. Got to final fit them yet. But kind of the idea is for these little ones to go in corners, and then the bigger ones, obviously they're too long because right now they're gonna go up. They fit up here, but I left plenty of room so I can slide them down to where I want. Envision it more like that, but all down towards the bottom here. I think I'm gonna do them kind of like right at the level. Oh, I guess I can't because these are higher. I think maybe I'll cut them in, I guess at the level of this center hole here. But we'll cut them to fit in flush with the back once all these are welded in, because they're all sticking up a little bit down here, so we want to get them all welded first, and then we can cut and fit and weld these final pieces. Well, as you can see, I went ahead and started making those braces. This time didn't take me as long though, because instead of making the hat channel, I took and just made a U channel, made it smaller, and I didn't have to drill holes with the hole saw for my dimple dyed holes. I just went up to a 1/2 inch size hole and then used my smallest dimple die and hammered it in rather than using a press. All that makes it go a lot faster. So in the end, that process just went a lot faster this time. Well, I'm gonna end it there. I got all my braces welded in. I think it looks pretty good. What do you think? So as you can see, I got my vertical braces, my horizontal braces. That's just the sunlight shining on it. But yeah, these are just to give it some side-to-side support. Everything is super solid now. Really happy with how strong and solid it is. I just stitch welded all the braces in. I didn't go crazy and do a full weld down it. And I don't think there's any need for that. And now we're done with bracing the rear bulkhead of the cockpit. Now I know doing it this way caused me a lot of extra work. It would have been faster just to brace it all up with square tubing, I think. But I'm getting better at it. I think I've got some processes down for when I do the back. Plus I have a shrinker stretcher now, so I won't have to bend everything, I don't think. So hopefully when I go to do the back half, I can do it faster and better. I guess next for the cockpit part, we need to get these doors fitting correctly finally, and get this body joined together in the front. We'll see if I go to work on that next, or if I switch and do something fun for a change. We'll see. Till then, YouTube, later. We've got our hat channel bent up on our new improved Harbor Freight breast.